Hello everyone. Welcome to our session Hiring for Growth. Thanks for coming. So, before starting with our session, let me introduce you to Samantha. You're probably wondering who is Samantha? Well, Samantha is a business analyst. She has an amazing degree. She has more than 5 years using Odoo. She is even Odoo 19 certified, which is very, very unbelievable considering that we launched the new version just a couple of hours ago. She has low salary expectations. She's a team player. She's fun. We consider Samantha to be the best candidate. Today, in our talk, we're gonna share with you some secrets to hire at least 100 of this profile in less than 5 minutes. I hope you know that we are joking. This is a tough job, but our mission today is really to share with you some insights on how to improve your recruitment process and also to give you some tips that we use also in Odoo. I am Katerina, working as partner manager for France.
I am Marie. I'm working for the Services for Partner department.
And today we're gonna deep dive our Odoo recruitment process, and we're gonna share with you some of our best tips. Before going through the agenda, this is our pad, so you can scan the QR code or you can go through the link here below. You can ask all the questions you want and we will be back to it at the end of this talk. Okay, let's start. After this brief introduction, we're gonna go to present you all the struggles that our partners are facing today in the recruitment process. Then, we're gonna share with you how our HR team proceed today in hiring. And last, Marie will give to you some unexpected tips on how it works in recruitment business analyst. You know that here at Odoo, we really value your feedback. So that's why a couple of months ago, we asked our partner which were the struggles they were facing in recruiting new business analysts. Here, there are the 3 main points that we could spot. First of all of our partners are struggling to find people who are experienced in Odoo. Whenever they can find a person who matches with this experience, sometimes they are challenged on the salary expectations. And last but not least, they really struggle to understand the real motivation of the candidate in just a short amount of time during the interview. That's why we were investigating a bit more and we asked our HR team how they do to recruit that many people. You should probably know that today at Odoo we are more than 6,000 people across the world. So for us, recruitment is really, I would say, the core for the people we have. This is the step that we have for our recruitment process. You see 3 phases. We will go deeper into each one of them. Just so you know, there's an extra step that we are not going to explore today, which is the developers one, and this includes a technical test from home. So, the first stage for the HR team is the CV screening. What does the HR team look for? First of all, they are looking for the presentation of the CV. This is the first step. The candidate presents himself or herself. So it's very important because it's the first look the HR team have about the person. Secondly, the localization. Is the person living nearby, or is it probably a better match for another office? You probably should know that at Odoo we have so many cultures, so languages are really important, and for us to speak a good English is really an asset. If there are so many candidates that the HR team can decide which candidate should move forward into the next step, we will go deeper into the studies. And last but not least, we make sure that the candidate is not working at the moment, for example, with a partner. Why do we do that? You know that at Odoo we really have a strong sense of community, so we really want to play fair and we don't want to keep other talents from our partners. Once this first phase is done, we go to the video interview, which lasts at least 30 minutes. To give you a bit of idea of how many candidates will go to this second step, 1 out of 10 candidates move forward. In the video interview, the HR team will check the personal skills. We will see in a second with Marie how the soft skills are really, really important. We will check the candidate's motivation and the general knowledge of Odoo. Why do we do that? We expect the candidate to have at least some knowledge about how we work, what do we do, and about the product. And last but not least, of course, we test the language knowledge. Whenever we are done with the second phase, we go to Marie's team. So can you tell us a bit more about how it works in this final stage?
Yes, of course. So for the last step of the recruitment process, we do an in-person interview. So this recruitment process is mainly focused on business analyst recruitment. So we also call them functional consultants. And for the in-person interview, what we're going to test first, 1 out of 3 candidates move from the video interview to the in-person interview on average. And for this interview, what we really are going to test is first the personality of the candidate. So here it's really a discussion with the candidate to get to know who they are, their life experience, what they want from the job, and so on. Then we go through the testing the hard skills, so the previous experience. This can be previous job or either the experience they have acquired at university or at university usually.
Or internship.
Internship, for example. Then we go through their motivation and the knowledge of Odoo. We explain what the job is going to be, what is Odoo, our values, and so on. And then we go through a use case. So this use case that is here to test the logical side of the candidate, which is something that is absolutely required to be a business analyst at Odoo and at the partners too. So now comes the moment to share our unexpected tips. Why did I write it like this? Because I think some of the tips might be actually expected, but at Odoo we also consider that these tips are still good, so we want to give it to you too. Some of the other tips are unexpected and I hope you'll like it. So we built these tips on our experience. As Katerina said, at Odoo we recruited more than 6,000 employees, most of them in the context of a hyper growth, which means that we had the occasion to make mistakes and to learn from our mistakes. In my case, my own experience was built when I moved to Spain in 2022, and I had to, for the opening of the office, to build the consulting team there. So I had to do a lot of recruitment too. I had the occasion to learn the Odoo style, so I had no training, nothing. I had to learn on the spot, and I could recruit my team. So now the tips are based on both experience, mine and Odoo's. So the tips are organized like this: before the interview, during the interview, and after the interview. When we say the interview, we mean this in-person interview that lasts until 4 hours. Okay, so first, for before the interview, the tips that we wanted to share, make sure it's the right moment to recruit. So a lot of partners, they recruit when they're in a hurry, when it's already too late because the projects have already started, they're already needing somebody that is up and running, and it's actually too late. So try to anticipate a lot when you're going to recruit. How to anticipate? First, don't make this mistake that if you see your workload increasing a little bit for a small amount of time, don't think you have to recruit that moment. Maybe it's just an amount of time that will end, and then the workload will lower again, so you can take help from other sources of work. For example, you can collaborate with other partners. This is something we encourage a lot at Odoo. You can also use our partner services. So this is what my team does right now here in Belgium. We help partners. We accompany them in specific project. We bring our expertise. We train the newbies at partners. We train partners also on specific applications. So you can always take help from us. And you can also use freelances for developers and functional consultants. So make sure it's the right moment to recruit. If you see that the workload is going to increase and keep increasing, then try to recruit 6 months before this increase. And to know when is the right date, you need to do retro planning. So you need just to check the deadlines and make sure that you get 6 months before, and then you start recruiting. Then if it's the right moment to recruit, then you need to be attractive as a partner. So how to be attractive as a partner, Katerina?
Yes, this is really your time to shine. We know that the way candidates look for a job today might be a bit different from before. For sure, one of the things they're looking for is the fast recruitment process. This is something we really keep an eye on at Odoo. To give you a bit of context, in Odoo, our recruitment process lasts 4 weeks maximum. For sure, if the candidate takes a bit longer, it's not really on us, but for us, it's a really fair amount of time to give an answer to our candidates. And that's something you can also put in place, at a partner level, because it will give, I would say, this fast speed in the process, and also the candidate will know very fast if it's in or out. Secondly, today, a lot of people, I think we do, want to have an impact on the work, and we really want to grow. That's something we can do at Odoo, and with Odoo. And when you're recruiting, especially if it's a mid-sized company, it's really it's really easy to put in place, because whenever a business analyst enters this kind of context, he will be handling probably several projects, several different tasks. And so it will help you also with retention, because your candidate won't get bored of the repetitive or the routine. And also, in Odoo, we have a really strong enterprise culture, and that's something we try also to pass to our partners. So you have to keep this strong human aspect that will make you attractive for the future candidate.
Thank you, Katerina. For the third advice that we want to give you about this specific interview, it's important that you do one long interview instead of two. What do I mean by that? If you do multiple interviews, if you do a lot of interviews in your recruitment process, then the recruitment process is going to be very long. And as Katerina said, well, it doesn't make you competitive regarding this recruitment market. So it's way better to shorten the process by doing a big interview. And what I personally like about big interviews, long interviews, is that you get to see who the person really is, because nobody can keep a mask for more than 2 or 3 hours. So these interviews can last until 4. So the person will become themselves after a while, and you actually get to know their weaknesses and the real person that is behind. So that's the best perk of it. Then choose a recruiter that knows the job from the inside. At Odoo, the recruiters for this last interview are business analysts, because these are the best placed people to know what the person in front of them needs to have to do the job, because they do the job every day. So that's the first point. The second point, it keeps them learning in their job. So for me, it was a really big plus that when I moved to Spain, I had to learn a whole new set of skills, and it kept me happy in my job. So it's really good for retention too. Then for during the interview, first remember that interviews are marketing too. So you need to represent your company once you start the interview. For the candidate, the interview is really important, an important moment. While for you, you might have done 10 interviews in the week and you might be very tired. You might want a coffee during the interview, be lazy, but you still need to represent your company, show the values of your company, and be nice. Whether you take them or not, the candidate is going to speak about you at dinner. So you really need to represent your company. Second point, so I think the second point is the key takeaway of this talk. So if you were sleeping until here, please wake up, it's the moment to listen. Stop chasing the experience and start spotting the potential of candidates. So this is a common mistake I've seen at partners. I've been having calls with partners to give them advices on recruitment, and this is what they would all tell me. I can't find somebody that is experienced in Odoo. You don't need to find that person. What you need to find is a person that is able to learn fast and to incorporate the values of your company, to represent your company, and to grow, to become actually the person experienced in Odoo. Okay, so this is also going to make you competitive on salary, because if you look for somebody that is going just getting out of university, you can offer lower salaries. How to check the potential of somebody? You need to focus on the soft skills. So as you've seen on the other slide for this long interview, the first thing that we check during the interview is the personality of the person, the soft skills of the person. And to do that, what I've done in Spain is that I have written my personal wish list for consultants, okay? And this is just soft skills. So I haven't written anything that is a hard skill. Of course, it would not be the same for a developer. We agree on that, but for consultants, it is mine. You can take it if you want. And at the end of the interview, I would just go through the list and make sure I have an answer for each point for this specific candidate. If I don't have an answer, then I keep on asking my questions. And this comes to our last point, last advice for during the interview: ask the right questions. How to ask the right questions? First, never ask a question for which the answer is obvious. For example, if you want to test if the candidate is a good decision maker, don't ask them, do you consider yourself as a good decision maker? Because who would say no to that? So you can turn the questions another way. For example, you can ask them, what was the hardest decision you had to take professionally? And it puts them in a situation and they have to answer with a real life case they had. So it's already better. And second advice for asking the right questions, know the purpose of your question. So again, if you want to test if the person is a clear communicator, you can use a specific question for that. My favorite is explain the rules of your favorite sport, as if I had never heard of it before. This one is crazy, so you can just take it if you like it. And these are other examples of questions that we use for specific purpose for testing a soft skill. Okay, that was for advices during the interview. Then for after the interview, the first mistake that we do as human beings is that we want to take the decision if we're going to hire the person or not during the interview. So the first advice, wait until the end of the interview to make your decision. Be patient, listen to everything that the person has to say, and don't try to decide before, because if you decide before, then you're going to orientate the interview to make it go to the decision that you already took. So you're going to fool yourself, which is not a good thing. Then second advice, avoid creating an army of clones. Again, as human beings, we tend to like more the people that are like us in terms of personality. So for my case, my mistake was that I would tend to hire more extroverted people because I consider myself extroverted, but then I would end up with a team of only crazy people, which is not good. We need a balance, a balance of skills so that all the tasks can be performed properly. Then third advice, if there is a doubt, there is no doubt. This is a sentence that we always repeat at Odoo for recruitment. What does it mean? It means that if you end the interview and you still have a doubt for one little point for this candidate, the candidate seems perfect, but there is this that I'm not sure about, then don't take this candidate. You need to do risk management for your company. It costs way more to say yes to somebody that's not going to do the job properly than to say no to a good candidate. There's going to be other good candidates that will come to you, so it's better to be patient and don't take this risk. And last advice, trust your gut feeling. This one is hard. I think gut feeling is also being built with experience, but what I mean by that is if the candidate didn't answer theoretically perfectly to all the questions, but you still feel it's going to be a very good team player for you, then you can take them. You should go ahead because your gut feeling weighs more than just the theory of the answers that the candidate needs to give. So that was it for me.
Yes, to wrap up this session, so we really want to focus on this, so you should really stop researching the perfect match, which probably either isn't available on the market, either doesn't exist, and really start just chasing the perfect potential to make the candidate to become the person you would love to have in your team. Thanks a lot for listening to us. If you have some questions, this is the pad again.
So we do have some questions here. So the first one is, do you have any automatizations that you're using in recruiting so that you can keep your 4 weeks limit? And if so, which ones?
So we use the recruitment app of Odoo, of course, to do recruitment. And we have some automatization, but they are not so... I mean, it's not what keeps us for the 4 weeks delay. I think the 4 weeks delay is just the velocity and the efficiency of the HR team. The automatization that we have are for sending automatic emails. I think when we refuse the CV, we send an automatic email. And then I think for each other step, even if we refuse, we write a manual email to explain the reason. So that would be the only automation I know.
So, thanks. Can you tell us how many people are involved in the recruitment process?
I don't hear you well. Can you repeat?
How many people, is it okay now, are involved in the recruitment process?
Okay, that's hard to say. I know here in Belgium, so we have a pool of 200 consultants, and 4 of them in total are involved in the recruitment process for the consultants. And then for the HR, if I'm not mistaken, it's just 1 HR for us. So 1 HR and 3-4 people in consultancy.
What would be your advice for smaller partners that have no brand name yet?
I think the brand name helps, of course, but you can already play without it. So I think the advices are the ones that we gave in this slide. You can sell other things. You can sell the fact that you're small. A lot of people really want to work in a small company because they want to feel their impact. So if you have no brand name, it means you're small and they're going to be able to do a lot of set of tasks and learn a lot. So that's what you can sell to them.
So can you tell us here if you have, what do you think about providing feedback to all candidates?
It's super important. So when I say that interviews are marketing too, the whole recruitment process is marketing, and that's what I would say to my team in Spain when they would do recruitment, to take the time to write down the feedbacks and to send them to the candidates, even the candidates that we don't take, because sometimes they would even answer to us and say, thank you for sending me this email explaining the reasons. Nobody does that, and it makes you different. So yes, send the feedback.
How do you define integrity as a soft skill?
Integrity as a soft skill, yeah, I don't know if it's a soft skill in itself, but it's just something that is important to me, that the person will be themselves, authentic person, like they will not be only nice with the managers and really bad with the newbies, for example. They will say the truth, they will tell me what they think, so that's integrity for me.
Do you use any personality tests during the recruitment?
Yes, we use the 16 personalities test. So we send it beforehand, before the second interview. And we use this test not to see the result, because I think the result is usually not saying much, but just as a base to start speaking about the personality of the person. So the person answers the test, then they get a set of qualities and weaknesses. And we ask them if they agree or not with the test. So that it's a base for speaking, and then we discuss anything.
So have you noticed any difference between hiring in the Spanish market than from the Belgian market?
I don't hire here in Belgium, so my only experience is for Spanish market. But I think it's quite the same.
So what's the most creative, in a good way, question that you've received from a candidate during an interview?
The creative answer?
A creative question from one of the candidates.
I don't know. I think I would have to think of it.
So how do you recover from bad recruitment? Do you have any processes that are put in place regarding this?
Bad recruitment hurts, so that's the hardest part of recruitment. Our process, when we see that a candidate that we recruited is not doing the job properly, is to do what we call an improvement plan. So we set of targets to them that they have to reach for in 1 week, in 2 weeks, until in 3 months. And if they don't reach the objective at each milestone, then we explain that we have to stop the collaboration. And it's really hard to handle. It's the most painful part of being a manager, I think, is that you have some time to cut the collaboration with somebody.
I don't know about the time.
Yeah, I think...
one last question?
No,
maybe
it's fine.
we have one more
one last,
question.
okay.
Yes.
One last.
Okay, so we have Byron, who works in a company. He recruits engineers for projects of his clients. Okay, and he asking if we have any customer portal where their candidates can be presented with their CVs, so that their clients can pick them.
I think we could design that in Odoo. In standard, we don't have it, but we could discuss that. You can come to me if you want, and we can think of using the recruitment app for that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.